the medicine woman.
This video is like quite self-explanatory. Anyone who degrades you doesn't love you. And I mean this sexually. I love sex. I love talking about sex. Sex is one of my favorite things to do. I used to be a former sex addict. I love sex. But I'm gonna tell you this. I mean this for anyone who engages in sex. And you know what? I was gonna make this gender specific, but it shouldn't be. Because a specific group, I have like specific group of people. I have like 4 friends from that dynamic. And if they're watching, they should hear this. Anyone who degrades you doesn't love you. They never will, and they're never going to. So the moment we kind of accept this in sexual relationships, the better. You know, as I've said, anything that doesn't kind of glorify your self-esteem, one of my videos here is how to build your self-esteem, which I advise you to watch. It should be the most important thing to you in your life. And your sexuality does not always have to be empowering. Not every sexual choice you have to make is empowering. Sometimes you want someone to call you a little slut. Sometimes you want someone to call you a little bit of names, whatever. But I need you to understand what degradation means. And you know what? I got the definition online. Degradation, in the context of self esteem, means a significant decline or loss of self worth, where someone feels they have lost respect for themselves and are viewed negatively, often leading to a diminished sense of personal value and confidence. Essentially, it is the act of bringing oneself down, or severely, that was so embarrassing, damaging one's self image, right? Anyone perpetuating this behavior towards you is a predator. Let's call it like what it is. They are prey upon you. And in this video, I'm going to go into what degradation means because I don't mean a little kink. I'm not kink shaming. Like, I'm here, sex positive. Let's get into it. Let's get into the degradation I'm discussing. You know, identity based degradation is what kind of inspired this video. The fetishization of it all. You're a human being, you're not a fetish, too. You know, as a human being, the most important thing that needs to kind of happen for you is that you're seen, you're valued, you're understood through every experience you have, including the sexual ones. So, anyone who kind of uses their privilege to exploit your experiences, your trauma, especially regarding your identity, for sexual gratification is a fucking predator. You hear me? They're fucking predators. It's like, let's get into it. They're predators. And it's even worse when you're at a disadvantage. You're not only triggering yourself, they're using your insecurity regarding your identity, like oppressed identity, and your trauma alongside with that to prop up their own ego. They're not doing it because they love you. It's because they want an ego boost. They want to feel like, yeah, I did this to this person. And that's really what it is. And the moment we kind of wake up, one kind of casual way that men do that is bitch. But, you know, I'm not even talking about that. Like, I don't want to be too discoursey. Like, sometimes some women like it. It's up to them. But it's a casual way in society we've normalized that kind of behavior. Like, you think men love you when they call you bitch. Some do, but they don't understand the kind of what's it called that comes with it. But then again, in society, we look at things in black and white thinking. And it's funny that I'm going to go after this and say this. People think in our society, obviously, I'm sure that many of you will be kind of conscious of racism and like the intersections and whatever. But we're taught that black is bad and white is good. We're taught that men are superior and women are inferior. We're taught that cisgender and straight is normal and queer and trans is freak. We're taught that skinny is desirable and fat is unacceptable. So for all the chubby chasers, the trans chasers, some DOMs and BDSM community, I'm not coming for the BDSM community, but there's a white man, for example, he messaged me on some app and he was like, be my slave. I don't know how you look at a black woman's profile and you even do something like that, but it's like, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Because I like a soft dom, like I'm a sub. But the degradation of other people for your own pleasure, let's wake up and smell the coffee. It's burning, the house is burning, you just smell the coffee because it's actually disgusting. What's it called? You don't have to, and apart from that, you don't have to engage in everything sexually. It's like the sex positive society kind of tells you that you have to do everything. No, you don't. One thing I kind of like admire, like religious people, most specifically Christians, because I grew up in that religion. you don't have to engage every part of yourself. It's like people just think you can just do everything because you have a sexual propensity for some of that. Those things that you have a sexual propensity can come from a deep trauma, which I don't want to go into and make people, because it's such a sensitive topic. I don't want to make people feel bad about themselves. You actually would be much better. I'm not saying repressing it, seeing a therapist, discussing it, and kind of doing a lot of journalism and shadow work as to why this kind of thing turns you on. I'm going to give one example. It's not too personal, but it's personal. I come from Nigeria and I grew up being essayed a lot, just even casually, like people touching your butt and touching your body, whatever. And for me, I don't really, consent almost turns me off if it's very obvious. And I kind of had to decolonize like and deconstruct that because it's like it can be a tricky slope where my partner could mistakenly assault me because of stuff like that. So it's like I don't have to engage in everything. I could go into some really deeply personal ones, but that would be on my Patreon where I discuss very deeply personal sexual experiences and sexual like kinks and whatever that I had to kind of just be like, wait, that's not acceptable. I need to stop doing that. And I'm going to also share an experience and a story time of how I dated a Jamaican man for 3 days who was 38 and I'm 22. So you can kind of go down on my Patreon, subscribe, and hear all the juicy tea about that. You don't have to engage in everything sexually. So I kind of made this video, and this is the reason why. I have, how many friends do I have? I have like 4 friends who are black men. And I kind of made this video for them. I don't have much friends. I probably have like 12 altogether. But I made this video for them because I didn't actually thought it was going to be for women because it's something we go through. I had to kind of because with discourse, we kind of, when we discuss how black women hate themselves, it's, oh, black women hate themselves because they wear straight hair. Black women hate themselves because they wear this, they do this, whatever. I think that is a very kind of like a very surface level of hate, a very surface level. And for a majority of black women, I know a good amount of black women, a huge part of that is assimilation. On the internet, we go about critiquing black women for wearing straight hair or trying to fit into Eurocentric beauty standards as if the society doesn't literally judge you if you do not do that. Every day I leave my house, I'm stared at because of my hair. So it's a thing of like, it's how society kind of treats you. And yes, hate, self-hate has a part to play in it. But things like this where there are men of color who involve themselves with white women, or maybe they're black, non-black women. They're calling you slurs, baby. That for me, I'm not saying I'm not the kind of person who's like Dr. Umar to be like, oh, you can't have sex with someone of another race. Personally, I I'm very attracted to black men. I only like having sex with them and dating them. I'm still open to dating other people. But if you want to fuck whoever you want to fuck, go ahead. Why would I, a sex addict, former sex addict, tell you, actually, you know what? I don't think you should have sex with fuck whoever you want to fuck. But the slur, the race kink, the race play, let's dump it in the toilet. Because for me, that is more indicative of self hate. And it's more indicative of deep self loathing than putting on a wig. Let's wake up and smell the coffee. It's the truth. It is more indicative of that. It is actually very alarming because I have one of my best friends. She's white. How there will be black men coming to tell her to involve in this, and she's like, no. Even the whole BBC thing is like it's degrading. You're a human being. You are more than your genitals. You're more than that. And I hope that you get the introspection and awareness to understand it's not acceptable. Even for certain light skinned women, the whole red bone thing, like, it's not a compliment. And for me being dark as I am, you might just think, oh, I'm jealous, whatever. It's not even being jealous. I have, like, one of my good friends is biracial. It's not like, it's not empowering. They're degrading you. They are like putting you to, they are like basically equating yourself, all of your worth to your skin color. That's not a good thing. It is not a good thing. And it is with the same line of people who exploit women, who have dark women, black women fetishes for dark skin, or who have fetishes for trans women, or who have fetishes for plus size women. The only thing is that you're just conventionally like attractive. That's really the only difference, and it's not empowering in any sense or form. It's not cute. Let's cut it. Let's snip it in the bud. Stop it. It's gross. And it really is indicative of self-hatred. And to me, it's very hypocritical that black men will be like, black women hate themselves, they wear wigs, they do whatever. And then you do this behind closed doors. Stop it. It's not good for you. You can have sex with a white woman and then you have sex with her and it's neutral. Growing up, my uncle married a white woman and had 2 children with her. Those are my cousins. And then they divorced and he got married to a black woman. I didn't even know that this was a thing. I just thought that's what he likes. Then I kind of grew up and then like saw on the internet snow bunny this, snow bunny that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in the House of Commons? What is going on? It's weird. You can have sex, you can date white women and date white people, and it's not degrading. One white man I dated, and I always put reference to him because it shows me, like, honestly, how my standards are as high as fuck. We were dating, and he was like, oh, have you read this book, Women, Race, and Class by Angela Davis? I said, ooh, that's what you need. Someone who is very, like, because I think sometimes black men like to remove themselves with the kind of very emotional aspects of racism rather than the violent parts. Like, existing as a black person in this world, man, woman, queer, however it is a very emotional experience. And if the person you're with does not respect the emotions and exploits it to their own advantage, that is a predator. I'm sorry. And a lot of these white women, that's what they're doing because even the conservative ones, they have families who don't like black people. They do it as a way to revolt or what's it called? From their parents or to feel rebellious or to feel edgy. And then they don't actually really care about the black men involved because the children always kind of suffer the consequences of that. No, absolutely not. And I see videos. This is why, like, and I'm not like a hater of interracial relationships. I saw it growing up. My uncle, like as I said, married a white woman. To me, it's like do what you want. I don't think it's necessarily like revolutionary that I with a white person is like it's a normal thing to me. You can be with whoever the fuck you want, but this thing is like when it comes to the point where it's like they're taking advantage of you, it creates a cycle of trauma that when you then have children, it's not only about you. There are white women you can date who aren't racist, who were not sexually there. I know many. My best friend is one of them. They're out there. I see them on the streets. You know, they usually have like, a little bit of an edgy look, tattoos, piercings, like, pink hair, whatever. They exist. You don't have to have sex with these women who degrade and exploit you. And then when you do that, then come for black women's like form of self-love, it's like it's a bit pathetic. Let's wake up. So I moved on from that because that's actually what inspired the entire video. And I'd say the way that you approach intimacy, I think, is more it's more of a measure of your self-worth than what you wear, than how you talk. Because how you approach intimacy and how your intimate relationships kind of like they kind of mold you in that sense because it's a very like personal and very like transformational experience you have when you're intimate with someone, whether it's sexually, romantically, or platonically. It will affect your psyche on such a deep level and it will reduce your self-esteem. And then the problem is when men have reduced self-esteem, they then project that onto women. And then when women then have reduced self-esteem, they project that onto children or queer people. It would be better if we just did not engage in these activities. They don't love you if they degrade you. So I think that's the end of the video. I hope that it didn't, you know, touch any buttons, and I hope that it's something that sticks. They don't love you. They don't love you like I love you. They don't love you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. Stop having sex with these people. You're having sex with perverts. I wish it could be said. They're perverts. They're exploiting you and they're taking advantage of you and they don't love you or they don't even give a fuck about you. In fact, they hate you most of the time. So stop having sex with them. You can have sex with people who are different from you or who are more privileged than you. And even if they have it, they shouldn't be able to. You should be so comfortable in yourself where they shouldn't even express it. They should just like have sex with you and then go. Don't engage it. Don't be like, yeah, you can call me this. No. even if they say like it once and you're like, no, don't call me that, and then you have sex with them, I don't judge you, but it's like engaging them is just not good for you. And I don't judge you for doing it, but I kind of judge the person who's doing it. It's not okay, it's wrong, it's not acceptable, and it shouldn't be normalized. Love y'all.